Hello everybody, I'm Cantonese Cat. Hey everybody, Cantonese Cat here. A lot of people have been asking me about these different software names, cybersecurity and whatnot. I'm going to go through real quick in terms of what I think about each one of them. And I'm going to talk about real quick. This is CrowdStrike, one of those that I've been asked a lot in terms of what's been happening. So I have a Gantt chart here on the weekly. This is done by 720 and 1 based on the all-time low. And you can see that on the all-time high, it had kind of got resistance here at the horizontal zone over here at the Gantt. And it came back down and back tested the horizontal zone over here, found the support here at the angle, got pushed up here again. Initially got rejected here at the arc here, got a little bit of a false breakout. And now we're breaking out back above this arc here again. So all these things are pretty bullish actually. And it looks like it wants to continue to kind of challenge the horizontal line over here. It got rejected last time. I think it's going to end up hitting that area around 400 bucks. And I think this time maybe a little bit of resistance, but it's probably going to push through, maybe do a little bit back test. And I do think most likely around 2025, probably end up hitting the arc up here. Assuming that there's no like black swan events or anything like that. The trend is pretty bullish. It just simply got way overextended. It simply just had to do what it had to do, you know. If you're just basically looking at like the Fibonacci levels here from this, initial high since its IPO to where the bottom was, you can see that it simply just kind of test the level over here, came back, bounced almost perfectly from the 1.618. It just wanted to kind of, go a lot higher from there, right? And if you use this high over here to do a Fibonacci level for CrowdStrike, you can also see that it kind of found support here at 0.786 where it really pushed through and just did a back test. This is extremely bullish. I think it's probably going to end up hitting the 1.618 here around $616 sometime around 2025. I think that's going to be a pretty decent target for it to hit. Some of the other things I generally look at, it's also pointing to it being a pretty bullish stock, which is the Ichimoku cloud. It was initially a little bit too far overextended, came back tested the leading span A here, found support, and now is back above the Tenkan Kijun. All of these are very, very bullish. Even on the Bollinger Band on the monthly here, you can see it's not overextended. They got room really to go up over the next couple of months to like even 400 and beyond. It looks like upper Bollinger Band is starting to expand again. So CrowdStrike is pretty bullish. Very happy about CrowdStrike right now where it's at. Another stock that has really kind of been going up a lot is C3AI. The Bollinger Band is also starting to become a little bit more bullish. The price really broke back above the flattening 20-month moving average, which is a positive development. And if you're looking at the Ichimoku here on the monthly, you can see that it's also broken above the Tenkan Kijun. On the weekly, it has also broke back inside the cloud. Initially, C3AI was a little bit of a trendless stock. It still is if you look at the weekly, because there could still be a little bit of resistance up here around 34.5, somewhere around there. That could still be resistance, right? And we had a pretty big move so far from earlier this week. But yeah, there's some pretty positive developments that are kind of happening with C3AI. Right now, I'm still a little bit I'm like halfway between bullish and bearish. But it's turning a little bit more bullish. Like this trident look 1, 2, 3, where it looks like this. This is generally a pretty decent bottom, like kind of like this. Like it just looks like a very decent bottom. And it also looks like it's really broken above the wedge they have here. You have a little bit of descending wedge here. You really have truly just kind of like broken above that. So all these things are very, very positive. You can see that a little bit more clearly on the weekly here. There's clearly a breakout of this area here, and this area is not just the bear market trend line, whatever you call it, but you also simultaneously broken back inside the arc over here where you got rejected here, and finally you kind of broken it above, right? So it's probably going to gravitate up here to like 36, maybe wick there, and then maybe you're going to get some resistance here on the weekly Ichimoku cloud, which is completely reasonable, right? You might wake up above to the arc and got rejected here. It might hang around here, consolidate a little bit longer into 2025, and then break above and go to the next level would be a logical step for it to go. Now, it is still a little bit trendless. It can also got rejected up here, and it can still ride down, and if it's not able to find support at the angle, you can still ride down the arc and go back to the 20s, and then try to challenge the cloud over here again. So I'm not that entirely sure about this stock quite just yet. That's just like ready to run. I'm really not sure about that. If you also look at the Fib levels here too, you can see that we are also trying to break above the 0.382, which is always a good sign. Let's see whether or not this time we're able to break above the 0.382. We're able to consolidate sideways over here and then go and challenge the 0.618. That would be something that's extremely bullish to happen. But right now it's still a little bit trendless. It's still kind of stuck here. So that's kind of what I'm thinking about that. Somebody asked me about DDOG, DDOG. All I have to say is it's trying to break about the 0.5 fib level here. It would be nice to kind of test the 0.618 around $146.83. And if you're looking at the weekly Ichimoku, there really is not much to say. It came back tested the bottom of the cloud, bounced back up. It looks like it wants to go up higher based on this look, right? If you look at the monthly here, you can see how beautifully it had a lot of these kind of wicks underneath below to tell you that things have bottomed. And so far for the month of November, you push through into the leading span A here, which is the immature monthly Ichimoku cloud. So you're pushing through a lot of these resistance 0.5 as well as the immature Ichimoku cloud. So next natural level for it to hit would be probably 146.83, which is 0.618 Fibonacci level. Higher highs and higher lows, no concerns about that. Big giant cup here with a handle. It looks like we might be breaking above the cup and handle here. If we are able to really truly do that, the target for a cup and handle formation, I guess assuming the top right here is around 130, the bottom here is around 60. So 130 minus 60 is 70. So you add 130 to 60, sorry, 130 to 70, it'd be 200. So it'd be this all-time high. That would be the target for the break of this cup and handle if it ends up doing that. But before that, you have to have some resistance around 146.83, so it's 170. These two are very, very strong resistance levels here probably. So we'll see how it reacts when it gets there, right? But overall, this is very much of a bull trend. There's no doubt about it. 20-month moving average nicely curling up. You have room for it to go to the 0.618 here on the upper Bollinger Band, right? Before you didn't have that. Now the Bollinger Band's expanded up. Now you can get to the 0.618, which is where I think it's probably going to end up gravitating to. We'll see how it goes. The other stock that somebody had requested was TWLO. TWLO, sorry, TWLO. I was eyeing this formation here for a very long time, an ascending triangle. It broke above the ascending triangle very convincingly. Does it have to come back test? Not necessarily. Looks like things want to kind of impulsively go upwards. The negative sloping 20-month moving average has turned positive curling, and it has turned from resistance here to support, right? And the Bollinger Band is expanding here on the monthly. So there's a chance for this stock to just keep going a lot higher. Are we overextended? Heck yeah, we are. But can things stay overextended for a while? Yes, it can. On the weekly, it's so overextended that it had to spend a week kind of touching the upper Bollinger Band, but it looks like it wants to go higher. Can things kind of go sideways, even down a little bit before going up higher? It certainly can. There's no guarantee that it has to just keep going up on a straight line, but this is a very convincing breakout. Are we at any potentially pretty significant, resistance level? Let's pull up here. Yes, we are. We're getting close to 0.382. Around 103.01, which is going to be a pretty strong resistance level here. I also would be a little bit more caution too if it ends up just keep pushing up there on declining volume. We'll see how this week volume is like. But we're getting close to resistance. I think we're probably going to end up coming back to something, either maybe this midline zone over here, kind of around like the 87 range, or it can even come all the way back test the breakout of this ascending triangle here around $77. All these are possible, but we'll see how it reacts here. We're hitting resistance though. Once we push through the resistance, if we're able to push through it this time, which again, I'm not sure if we have the volume to do that, but if we push through the resistance, then you're talking about 0.618, which is $182. I would probably not buy this breakout here. I would buy the back test. If it doesn't give me a chance to buy a back test, then I'll just let it go. That's kind of how I usually would handle these sorts of scenario. Another one was Zoom. Zoom is extremely bullish actually, because if you're looking at the Ichimoku cloud here, it has something that I call a katana, where it really has broken out. Look at the katana. Looks like bull trend wants to continue. Came back test the cloud on low volume, and it looks like we have a pretty nice decent breakout here. Now the problem is last week you have a bearish candle. This is what we call like a shooting star candle. So yeah, you have a little bit of retracement here, which is completely expected. How far is this retracement going to go? I don't know. You could go down here to the Tenkan here around $77. You can go down further to this horizontal zone over here around $71. All these are possibilities, but so far I cannot say that this is concerning because it's just broken above the Ichimoku cloud, and it looks like it wants to go higher. My Ichimoku cloud is like totally messed up because the green is like red and red is green. Let me go and fix that here real quick. But yeah, it looks like it wants to go higher, but it might have to come back test some things there before it does that. It's also a little bit overextended above the upper Bollinger Band, got pulled back here, big giant wick above. It's going to need some time to kind of cool off, probably either sideways or through time. This is an absolutely insane chart in terms of like the Fibonacci, because if you go all the way from here, it's really, really far away from 0.382. I'm going to pull up some of the intermediary levels here. There's not really any like key fib levels. It can potentially come back to $76 and hold. It doesn't always have to necessarily come back to 71, but yeah, but there are some, you know, fib levels that may be hitting at some point. I think this is a bull trend though. It's forming higher high here. It just has to form a higher low. I don't know how high the higher low is going to be or how low the higher low is going to be, but this is a bull trend that is developing right now. It is very important to recognize that. Somebody asked me about confluence. If the chart ever pulls up, here you go. A little bit of a trendless sideways trend here. You have a lot of wicks here, so that tells you there's a lot of resistance that is trying to break above here still. The way I see it is if I pull out the Ichimoku, it's still under resistance, right? It's underneath the weekly Ichimoku resistance. So I probably wouldn't buy resistance. If it breaks down, maybe buy support, or maybe if it breaks through and then come back and back test, you know, I might buy support here. Not financial advice, of course, but these wicks here, I'm a little bit, you know, worried. I don't like wicks like this, you know. The good thing though, like if I just do a little bit of a trend line here, it did kind of break about a lot of these kind of trend lines that I'm seeing here. Even here, you kind of broken about this trend line over here. So I can see that, but it's still kind of stuck in a range, right? I can see it kind of consolidate here for a little bit, or even come back down to like 24, 25 range to backtest some of the stuff down here, build up more energy and push through. But right now, it looks like the uptrend here may be a little bit exhausted. I'm just a little bit worried. The volume is also declining here a little bit. And also the Bollinger Band. Let me turn off some of the other crap so you can see better. Also the Bollinger Band is also serving as resistance, right? A lot of resistance here. Probably need some time to come back down, build up more energy before pushing through. That's kind of what I'm seeing in terms of what this stock is doing. If I put the fib levels here, you can see it's also getting rejected at 0.382, right? So it's very important to notice that it's probably not going to push through here. It's probably going to have some growing pains. Maybe have to come back test anywhere from like 27, 26, 25, 23 range before building up more energy, push up. That's kind of what I'm seeing here for this stock. Where I'm at it, going for a couple more. Let's see. Somebody asked me about ServiceNow before. ServiceNow is hitting resistance here and again on the horizontal zone, but I think it's already broke out the 1.618, so it's probably going to go a lot higher to at least to like this, the 2.414. I think it's probably going to be where it's going to go over time. It's not going to get there in a straight line. You have some resistance levels here above. It could potentially get rejected and go sideways before you go up here. But I think the arc up here around 2.414, around $1,000 and $1,231 is probably going to be where it's going to gravitate to if you give it enough time. From arc to arc, that's what it's been doing from arc to arc, and that's probably what it's going to do from arc to arc. So we'll see, right? If it gets rejected here, you got some pretty good support here at the arc over here, down here around 900, and also $936.63 at the 1.618 level, right? The trade desk is also a very very strong bull trend. If you look at the weekly Ichimoku, there's no doubt like this is a bull trend. The question is more whether or not it's overextended, and the answer is not really here on the weekly. And also a little bit overextended, but not entirely so on the monthly. It looks like there's still room to potentially even go higher. You know, it's a very, very nice bull trend. I don't know where the top is going to be. So if we're going to try to find a resistance zone here during price exploration, you look at the fib level and you can see that it broke about its previous all-time high. It's probably still got a ways to go to like the lock 1.618, which is $221. If lock is too bullish for you, you can look at the linear, which is going to be $160.50. That's going to be the next level for it to hit. You're probably going to see some resistance here around 160.5, and we'll see how it reacts from there moving forward, right? But yeah, once things break about the 0.786, generally it gravitates to the 1.618. That's exactly what the trade desk is doing. Finally, I want to talk about one that I used to own, but I don't anymore. I sold as soon as I saw that it was about to break down here around like the low 20s. And sure enough, it went down lower. It found some pretty good support down here. It looks like this is a very, very nice bottom, but it's because this is still a lower low compared to all this, and I still haven't seen a higher low yet. I'm still very, very skeptical in terms of what Unity can do. On the higher time frame, you can see it's getting rejected by a very negative sloping Tenkan. On the higher time frame, you can see that even the Bollinger Band is still, you know, way above over here, and it's still a little bit negative sloping. So I can see even if Unity pushed up a lot higher to like the mid 20s, it's probably going to get rejected here. And right now you're still battling these really high time frame resistance here. So I probably would still stay away from Unity for now. There's just a lot of other stocks that have a better base behavior, a better falling knife, if you will, to catch. I'm probably going to stay away from Unity for now. Although there are, you know, although I do see this potentially be the bottom, but there's no confirmation because of the lower low pattern and yet to form a higher low. So I'm probably just going to stand on the sidelines, just watch it. I'm not going to, you know, get into Unity anytime soon. So those are my thoughts on these software related stocks. Hope you enjoyed this talk. Have a good one. Bye.